All right, what's up, everybody? You're locked in once again to Miguel Anthony Live. Sandra, you feeling good?
Yep.
I like the hat, the barrio hat. I like it. I like it. Kendall, you looking good today?
Thank you. I'm part of the Army. Me and Sandra.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
the A team.
The A team, Toronto Army. Okay. Listen, I want to just jump right in. We got an amazing guest today. An amazing guest. And listen, let's just speak some facts right now. Okay, we have a legend in the house.
Yeah,
we have a legend in the house.
Supreme legend.
Ooh. Okay, I like that.
Supreme Toronto legend.
Ooh. Okay, but transcends Toronto.
Not
bigger
just
than Toronto.
Toronto.
Not just, you're from Toronto, but listen, man. Let's just be real, man. The guy's a legend. The guy he's not just is he a legend, he's a pioneer. Yeah. I would say he's a pioneer, you know. Moses parted the Red Sea. He made a way, he made a path. And I feel like this guy did the same thing. He did a Moses movement. You're gonna bring out the Pentecostal in me here.
Miguel, can I say something?
Go ahead.
He made me love hip hop music.
Oof. And that's a very common thing. You know, for some people, I think he introduced them to hip hop music. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Let's stop talking about him and let's start talking to him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Maestro Fresh Wes in the building. Make some noise. Make some noise.
What's happening?
You know, it's funny because we do this intro without revealing him, but it's already revealed because everyone can see the pictures behind me. Maybe we should get some techie guys in here, and then as we do it, boom, everything comes on. It's like we know who he's talking about. His pictures are plastered all over behind you.
Thanks
Maestro,
for having me, man.
How you feeling, bro?
I feel blessed, man.
You are blessed, man, and you're just everything we just said there is true, man. Like you're first of all, I can't help. I gotta say, I mean, just if we just look at your music, right? You don't have to be a rocket scientist to kind of put an age on you. We're not gonna go there, but however old you are, bro, you look amazing.
I was just thinking the same thing right now.
Like I said, if you just do some research, like this is his age, but like, you know, like this guy looks real good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's the secret, man?
I don't know. Good food, genetics, man. I don't know, man.
You look good, man.
Thank you.
You look good. You look healthy.
Yeah, you're healthy
much,
and strong, and like
living.
you're just getting
God
started,
bless,
man.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
I grew up in Scarborough. I grew up playing basketball. I'm a big basketball guy. Actually, Kendall as well. We played ball. We used to go to our friend's house every Friday for this. So a lot of my friends grew up in the Chester Lee area in Scarborough, right? So I wasn't from Chester Lee, but a lot of my friends were. And there was this church group that what they would do is they would have this like Friday night. Remember that? You were there too.
Fellowship.
Yeah, we'll call it a fellowship, you know. And it was a great thing they did, you know. They would invite us over and we'd play.
So that's where you got that Moses spiel from.
Yeah.
Big up to Chester Lee.
Big up to Chester Lee. That's right. And we'd go to this church thing, and they would like outreach, and we'd play basketball, right? And then one time they couldn't get a permit somewhere, whatever. So one of the people just across Chester Lee said, "We have 2 nets. We can put the nets on the street, and we can play basketball on our street." And that street was Apache Trail.
Big up Apache.
Big up Apache Trail, John Colligan. And one time we were playing, and someone said, "I heard Maestro Fresh Wes records over there." in a home studio.
Yeah.
Is this real? Because I don't know if it was a rumor.
Yeah, I did a couple demo tapes out there. Shout out to my man Ron Nelson, man. Ron Nelson's old
Ron
spot
Nelson,
back in the days, man.
88.1.
Ron Nelson was the man who put me on when I was like 15 years old. So enough respect to him.
And was he around that area?
That's where he used to live.
Was it Cherokee for real?
It was his studio, yeah.
Oh, I mean Apache? Okay, so someone said it, and from the run, and we're like...
It was Beat Factory and Ron Nelson. They had a thing up there together. So
amazing.
That was dope. I came through a couple times.
Yeah, and I remember like every time a car pulled into that house, we kind of stopped and watched. We're like...
But the funny part was,
is he coming out?
I must have only been there like twice, so that's why.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't like I was a regular there,
right.
But I was there at least twice.
Oh, we didn't know. We just heard, and we're like, so anytime we were playing, a car pulled in that driveway, we'd be like, "Yo, is he coming out? Is he coming out? Is he coming out?"
Crazy.
Because we were fans. Because like Kendall said, you put us on to hip hop, bro.
Thank you, man.
You really did.
8 years old. I was 8 years old, like on my tape deck, waiting for 88.1 to come on.
Yeah.
And they had their hip hop station. or is it a hip hop program
Segment.
and I would just press record, man.
Yeah, man.
And they would swear on it. They didn't know
good,
they
man.
were swearing, man.
It was good. Shout out to Ron Nelson for putting me on, man.
Yeah.
And the thing is, words are so powerful, man. You don't know. Somebody could say something and just ruin your day.
It's
But
so
somebody
true.
could say something that enlightens you, inspires you for decades and decades, man. I remember when I was on that, my name used to be Melody MC, man. And when I was leaving, Ron said, yo, that's Melody MC. He's 15 and damn, he's good.
Wow.
I never forgot that.
Wow.
I never forgot that. That gave me the incentive to take it to the next level.
Huh.
And then when I started doing shows, Ron Nelson was there again, you know? And just for him being there again, I never forgot that. That's what I'm saying. Words are so powerful.
You're absolutely
We can
right.
impact our community by our own energy because his energy made a major impact on me. So when I hear stories about Apache Street, about Chester Lee putting the nets together, and I've heard so many stories, it's like words are powerful, energy is powerful, and
Absolutely.
it can transcend people, man. So
Yeah.
shout out to the brother Ron Nelson.
Wow.
And you know, I was just thinking about it the other day, man. When you look at the first Boogie Down production album, Criminal Minded, man. When you look at the back of it, it says shout out to Ron Nelson and the Toronto Posse. So that's KRS-One and Scott LaRock giving us that battery in the back of Toronto, because New York City was always the big brother for Toronto.
That's right. That's right.
You know, my man Snow, that's Juice Crew with MC Shan. You know what I'm saying? That connection right there. Queensbridge. You see what I'm saying? New York's always been there in a lot of ways. So when we saw that back of the BDP cover out of South Bronx, you know what I'm saying?
And
And it
shouted
said,
out
shout out
Toronto.
to Ron Nelson and the Toronto Posse. That gave me the energy to continue doing it. But right after that, Scott LaRock died. Right after that's when he died. That was the first death, one of the first major deaths in hip-hop back in
hip-hop.
'86.
Okay.
So imagine if he's still alive. He just started doing records with like Mission Me and LA Love, MC Rumble. You see what I'm saying? And Strong. So words are so powerful, but so is life. Life is so powerful. Life gives life, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
Yo, man, you're what?
He's deep. He's
Yo.
deep.
all right, man.
It's
Imagine
good.
if I was rocking one of those Barrio hats. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Next time. Next time.
Yo,
Sure.
Next
yo,
time, next
we got
time.
you. We got you. Don't
Wicked,
worry.
wicked.
Listen, man. So you touched on the music and history there. Because look, we know it. Everyone knows your music. Everyone knows your song. That kind of like that famous song that we'll talk about in a bit. But like what did that song really do? Like I'm sure you know. Like legends know you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because we don't know this part of it. We just know how popular the song was and how much it did. But like, how much did it really do for you and your career?
I mean, that was the battery in the back for Canada, for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? People know me as the godfather of Canadian hip hop. It ain't cause of good looks. It's cause I did something that was monumental, something that was instrumental, pardon the pun, that once again impacted the community, was transcendent to impacting the nation, and directly or indirectly impacted a lot of artists 30 years later.
Jeez,
you
man.
see what I'm saying? So
Yeah, man.
So-
Can you paint a picture of that time back in 80
When was it?
88?
What was
I mean, first of all, I want to say a special shout out to Stevie B, special shout out to LMR Records, because Stevie B was the artist that we met when we was at Electric Circus on Much Music. I didn't even want to go on because it was like my second time on there. I thought we were going horizontal. Sorry, going lateral.
yeah.
As opposed to going, vertical, and I thought, that was that. But then it was like they called us to go on again, and Farley Flex at the time was like, yo, if they're calling us, we must have done something right. So we were about to talk to a company called, a BMG subsidiary called Eureka Records. But then Stevie B was like, he heard me perform Let Your Backbone Slide for the very first time. He's like, yo, I think you're dope. Let me connect you with my label that I'm on, which is LMR Records. The rest is history. You know what I'm saying? And Let Your Backbone Slide is the first single from a Canadian hip-hop artist to ever go gold, platinum. I'm the reason why there's a Juno category. I'm the recipient of the first Juno Award for best rap recording. Yeah.
So prior to this, there was no rap
Prior to
category?
that, there was no rap category. They put me into the dance category when back when it came out, and I didn't win. But the very next year, the Canadian Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences implemented a brand new category called the Best Rap Recording of the Year. My album Symphony in Effect was released, and then the rest is history, man. Yeah, and that changed everything.
Yeah. I mean, we keep saying how you were like a pioneer of hip hop and all that, but like really, like before, like Dream Warriors, were they around your like when were they in the
Dream Warriors?
That's
were
all I
coming
know.
up. The Dream Warriors were coming up when I was coming up, known as the Maestro Fresh Wes. Before that, I was known as Melody MC.
Okay,
so like 1982, 83, 84, 85, 86. I already made a name for myself across the city. I was in a group called Vision. Vision, we opened up for groups like, I'm trying to think, Beastie Boys, when Beastie Boys first came to Canada. We opened up for them.
That's huge.
UTFO.
That's huge.
Who had Roxanne, which was a huge song like in 85, 86. And then I became the Maestro Fresh Wes like in 89. Around 88, those times is when I started hearing about a group called the Dream Warriors.
Okay.
Back in the days, you know how right now you got OVO?
Yeah.
Well, the OVO back then was a squad called Beat Factory.
Okay.
And Beat Factory had all those artists. Almost every artist in the city except me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They had Dream Warriors, Miss Me and LA Love, a lot of different acts, Rumble and Strong, a plethora of artists, plethora of hip-hop groups. Besides the Flemington Park Squad, which was East Park Posse and them, Beat Factory was the conglomerate that was going in back then. Man. So I just knew of Dream Warriors through that, and I'm like, damn, okay. Dream Warriors. I just knew they had high tops.
Yeah.
And they rhymed different.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
And they were the battery in my back, and so was Miss Me. Those were our measuring sticks.
Right.
Because Miss Me and LA Love, they got they were signed to First Priority Records with MC Light and them, and then Dream Warriors they were signed to Island. So we knew who's ever going to bust first is going to bust. Is going to be. I got a slogan that I was manifesting back then without even knowing what it was, and that slogan was, "Don't make records, make history." Understand what I'm saying? So yes, there was a couple people making little records here, little records there, which we commended. They were inspiring.
Sure.
Slinky D, shout out to Slinky D. I think he was the first hip hop artist from Toronto to have an album out. East Park Posse, which out of Flemington Park, they did their thing as well. Mission Me had a couple singles with KRS-One, what have you, like that. Mm-hmm. Those were not only was my measuring sticks, but that was the catalyst for me to continue doing stuff. Mm-hmm. But when Let Your Backbone Slide hit, it was a wrap right there. That was like, we ain't making records, we're making history now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I commend all those artists that I mentioned because, people sharpen people like steel sharpen steel. Because those artists kept me sharp back then, definitely.
Now, so that whole, let's say that generation, Mishy, Dream World, whatever, like, before that, like, are you guys literally like the first?
Nah, you got like artists like Butch Lee. You got Butch Lee. I think Butch Lee did a track with Celine Dion. Yeah, man. We talk like back in the days. Sunshine Sound Crew, Scarborough.
Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So sound. So
there were things happening.
Of course, man. Sunshine Sound Crew was serious because that was the sound crew that brought the city together. They're based out of Scarborough, but the man who owned the sound system, Warren, he was a West End man. But the main DJs was like a Tony D out of Scarborough. My man Farley Flex used to be security for Sunshine back in the days.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So Sunshine ran things throughout Toronto.
They used to do our high school dances.
Remember? See what I'm saying? So there's so much history we have here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my brother Cardinal. Cardinal did a great job of documenting. He was on Drink Champs not so long ago, and he documented the history that he knows from his time.
Oh, that'd be great to watch.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is good for a brother like me to talk to you guys about from the times when he wasn't even around at that time. You see what I'm saying? That he doesn't know about yet. Yeah. He may have known like rumblings, but I'm that cat that could say, okay, boom, from here on to where we're at now. One thing first of all, Cardinal's my favorite MC out of Toronto, number one.
He's dope.
Let's just get that. But he fits in the cusp between the Old Testament of Toronto and the New Testament.
He's the middle child.
He's the middle child there.
Yeah.
So he knows, he has a great point of reference from what was going on before, and he's a go-to guy of what's going on right now as well. So enough respect.
Yeah, Cardi's dope, man. His flows and his energy it's insane.
Bless.
So can you do you remember writing Let Your Backbone Slide?
I used to work at Parkway Mall.
VP and Ellesmere?
Victoria Park, Ellesmere. I went to Senator O'Connor High School.
Okay.
And then I graduated at Lamoureux.
So you're a Scarborough guy.
Love that reaction.
Let's just leave that one alone. Anyway, like I said, I went to Lamoureux Collegiate.
Bridletown Circle.
And before that I went to Senator O'Connor, so it was Parkway Mall right there.
Mall.
So I had a little thing of a Parkway. I was working And then that's when I came up with the idea to write "Let Your Backbone Slide," man.
But what?
Because I was looking for a name, because my name used to be Melody MC.
Okay.
But I wanted to change it. It was AKA Fresh Wes. You know what I'm saying? But then my man R. Smalls was like saying, "Man, your rhymes are too fresh for just Fresh Wes. You need a title." So I kept on coming up with ideas, and then one day they had a Tuxedo Royale right there.
I think they still do.
They don't got it there.
Oh, they
I
don't got
checked
it
last week. But anyway, I go,
Okay.
Maestro Fresh Wes. That's the name right there, man. And it was Parkway Mall. I wrote it there. I like everything. So
How old were you when you wrote it?
I must have been like 18 or 19 at the time. I think 19.
Wow, man. And the process of that song, did you have a beat already? Did you get in the studio? Was it a collaborative effort with you?
Well, I went to high school with these guys named First Defense, which is Peter and Anthony Davis. They went to O'Connor with me for a couple of years. And we grew up listening to rock.
Okay.
You know, we grew up listening to Q107.
Yeah.
I was a rocker, man. You know, obviously we had funk. Obviously we had reggae. That was a part of our culture.
Of
so
course.
that was like nothing. You know what I mean? Obviously hip-hop was in its embryonic stage, so my pops brought me some records. He brought me Super Rhymes, which is like one of the greatest of all time, The Breaks, and then obviously Sugar Hill Gang Rappers Delight, right?
Wow.
But, you know, in Toronto and Scarborough was pure rock, so it was like Rush. There's a pure Rush. Listen to like, you know, but there was an artist named Billy Squire. Billy Squire had Big Beat. Big Beat was the beat that Roxanne. It was one of the most popular break beats, but Billy Squire also had a song called The Stroke. The Stroke was a big tune. Wasn't as big as Big Beat, but Stroke, he said, that was one of the lines in the song, like, make my backbone slide. I'm like, yo, that's ill. So I'm a concept-driven artist, so I told Peter and Anthony, I got an idea for a tune. It's going to be called Let Your Backbone Slide, so it's got to be ill. I want the beat to symbolize that. You see what I'm saying? Now, growing up in Scarborough, we got certain slogans and certain sayings that we have, right? So I'm taking you back a little ways, but when the man used to say back, it was, "I'm showing you, man, I'm showing you." So before Backbone, I had a tune called "I'm Showing You." That was the original song that I put out because that was a Toronto slang back then. So back then, that was like, "I'm Showing You" was the first video I put out. It was 1988. Because I figured we didn't know about Video Fact and all them things, but I knew back then if we get it on Much Music, oh my goodness, even if it's a light rotation, you have an opportunity for some looks. So back then we had our own slangs and stuff like that. So the first joint was "I'm Showing You." Then later, that just kept ringing in my head. That "Let Your Backbone Slide." So I told Peter and Anthony, we got to make a song, but it's got to be funky. And they came with it.
It's good. And they came strong.
They came with it, yeah.
It's some other big music people, Magic went to St. O'Connor. They're younger, and they're pop reggae, but they also went to St. O'Connor.
St. O'Connor was a very dope school, man. Very good school, man.
So we were in the Catholic board too. We went to Brébeuf.
Brébeuf,
We
cool.
went to Brébeuf, and then I transferred to Vanier for my last year.
Vanier, okay, cool.
Yeah, man. So wow. So that now, what did that song actually like do in terms of? You know, you said it was the first rap song for Gold. Yeah,
Golden Cat was like 50,000 units, so it wasn't like monstrosity like in America. You know, I don't really stress those accolades like that. What's the main? Yeah, they went platinum, hoopty hoo. The main thing is what it did. What that song did for the culture.
Yes.
What it did for our community. Before me, black people weren't working at radio stations in Canada. There were no black music departments. There weren't any black artists on radio being spun. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what that song did, that did more than a lot of people really. People forget about a lot, you know, for what that song did.
Yeah.
Because prior to that, there was nothing.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So so we could look at what the numbers it sold or what it didn't sell or what it didn't do outside other territories. But what it did for the country where I was born and raised was something that we all. It made a major impact, directly or indirectly.
Brought a lot of life to the young people, man.
Brought a lot of life, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we just finished celebrating the 30-year anniversary. And Backbones are still sliding, man. I'm still
Backbones are still sliding, man. They're still sliding. 30-year anniversary, which is amazing. You just got inducted.
That's right.
Into the
Songwriters Hall of Fame. So I'm the first hip-hop artist to ever get inducted.
Jeez.
Wow. Amazing.
Hip-hop.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
First hip-hop artist. Wow, man. Wow. It took them that long, too, huh?
Huge.
So it continues to break barriers, man. It continues to create opportunities.
So, you know, like I'm a big fan of these art. Like I said, like the artists that came up before me, they inspired me just to get on the mic. But in terms of making records and taking it to the next level, I had no one older than me showing me what to do. All my influences and all my energy came from being inspired by younger artists. Didn't matter if it was like the ghetto. Like I came out like making records on the level before Ghetto Concept.
Ghetto Concept.
You know what I'm saying? There's some people that's a group people forget about.
Yeah,
a very important group for hip hop in Canada.
They were after you, correct?
They came out after.
You were saying,
but that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yes.
Like it didn't matter who it was, if it was the Ghetto Concept generation, or the Cardinal Socrates, Chaclair generation, or the Rich Kid generation, or even now with the Drake generation. It doesn't matter. Like to me, I'm always a student, and that's what keeps me continuing.
Yeah,
to do
exactly.
music. Yeah.
So speaking of that, are you doing music?
Hell yeah! The last album came out in March, called Champagne Campaign. That was celebrating. That was celebrating. You know, the 3 decades.
Yeah.
Prior to that, Coach Fresh came out. It got nominated for a Juno for Best Rap Recording of the Year. A brother by the name, I don't know if you heard his brother. His name is Tory Lanez.
Yep.
Yeah, well, Tory got me on that one. But how cool is that? That I'm still considered one of the best. Like my projects are still really, really dope and considered one of the best.
Amazing.
And you're also an author too. I want to read that book of yours that you did with your wife.
So yeah, I got a book called Stick to Your Vision.
Okay.
And we celebrating the 10-year anniversary of Stick to Your Vision.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that came out in 2010. Yeah. But before me being an author, music's always been my foundation, you know what I'm saying? And what have you. But film and TV was something I also like doing as well. I remember seeing Tupac in Juice, and I was like, yo, let me see if I could do my thing too. Then I studied, and I saw he went to acting classes and all that good stuff. I said, let me try my thing too, and I ended up being in a movie called Paid in Full, and the same cameraman who shot Let Your Backbone Slide was Paul Sarasi. So when he saw me like 10 years later on the set of Paid in Full, he's like, yo, that's Maestro. So although I didn't get any dialogue, he made sure that when Money Mitch came through, and I was his right-hand man rocking shotgun, they made sure I got some light. You know what I mean? So,
amazing. So once again, man, Backbone Slide, just opening doors.
That's what I'm saying, the foundation.
Have you met Tupac before?
Nah, man. No, I seen Pac I seen Pac and Biggie perform together in a club in New York years ago.
Whoa.
Not too many people could say that.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying? But I seen that. And from that, you know, I was on a show called Metropia.
Oh, yeah.
3 seasons. I did Instant Star for 4 seasons. I did Mr. D for 8 seasons. Shout out to Jerry, who's doing he's doing Family Feud in Canada now.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, man. But you know,
how many seasons were you on that show?
I was on 8 seasons. I ended up being vice principal.
What?
Yeah, man. I started just being like the coolest teacher. Then I got a promotion. You know what I'm saying?
Really? So when you say acting, you didn't dabble. You went in.
Yeah.
That's correct. I've been 4 Brothers. I co-starred a movie called Redemption with Jamie Foxx when he played Stanley Tookie Williams.
That's right. Yeah.
Quite a few.
That's great, man.
Film projects, but TV, especially in the last decade, even if it's Canadian projects, some good solid Canadian projects.
Amazing.
That was one of them too. So
amazing,
definitely. Man. But I just want to rewind a bit because there's things that I don't normally say like in interviews and stuff like that get overlooked. But behind the scenes, I've done a lot in terms of inspiring artists and trying to help artists do their thing in terms of getting deals, in terms of a lot of stuff, you know.
The stuff that is hard, that people don't know how to do.
Stuff that's hard that people I don't really talk about too tough, but, you know, it's good to document your history because if people don't know, they don't know.
Yeah.
But, when I first got my deal, thousands of dollars was invested behind the scenes into developing artists that I don't really talk about. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Second album, when you look at the Black Tie Affair, that was the title of it. Black symbolized people, tie symbolized the unity, bringing people together. I mentioned to you Beat Factory earlier.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, they may have had a conglomerate, but once I got my deal, I said, listen, we got to do at least 1 track with Beat Factory. Let's bring them along too. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, they doing their thing with Dream Warriors Platinum in UK. That's great. Yeah, Missy Me's doing her stuff over there like that. That's great too. But Mice rhyme with nice. I got an opportunity right here Let's show some solidarity.
Amazing.
So there's a track on the album called Private Symphony that was given to Beat Factory to produce, because to me there's strength in numbers, and to me that's me supporting black business. Do you see what I'm saying? So I wasn't thinking of those terms like that, but I was thinking like that regardless, for the fact it ain't just about me, it's about all of us rocking. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because I didn't have to do that. I could have been like, yo, First Offense, you produced this, you doing the whole album. Or S Blank from Flemo, you can do this track too. But it was like Beat Factory, they've made a name for themselves. I'm making a name for myself too. Let's work together. So that was my, I took that initiative as a young man coming up. On the second album, like I said, The Black Tie Affair, a lot of people's first time ever on records was on that album. You know, my man K Force, I think he had like a little demo before that, but he was on the B side of conducting things, right? K Force is he's known for coming up with T.O. You know, if you hear the remix for Scenario remix for Tribe Called Quest, Charlie Brown says Force main source, LP on the rise, because Force was thinking about being the next member of Main Source. You see what I'm saying? So there's so much history here. So much history. And Carlos Morgan, the R&B singer, he was on the album. Simone Denny from Love Inc., she was on that album. Thrust, he was on the album too. Because my whole thing was, it ain't just about me. Let me see if these guys could do their thing too. Because it takes the strength in numbers.
Yeah, building a platform for everybody.
You see what I'm saying? So from that,
you
know,
saw it bigger than yourself.
I had to see bigger than myself, man. You know. So like I said, these are things I don't normally mention in terms of interviews, but I wanted to start sharing these things because if you don't document your history, people don't know what's going on.
You're absolutely right.
You feel what I'm saying? So
it's like with our kids, man. Like, you know, you have to let them know where they came from. Let them know.
Let them know where they came from.
All
I mean, no. People I helped out, they know.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is. And another thing too, a friend of mine told me one time, you know, help people privately, you're rewarded publicly. So that's why I never really, throughout the years, really said what, because I've been rewarded publicly.
Right.
And a lot of it just comes from genuinely saying, okay, boom, this is, take this and go on. Take this and go on. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, there's pros and cons with that, because if you don't document that, people don't really see what but they only know what they see on the surface.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They don't see the hard work put behind it. All they see is that cover of that album right there. They didn't know my father shot that. He's my photographer, shot that in the basement in Scarborough. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's nice.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. They don't know the blood, sweat, and tears about going to the studio, recording, then out of nowhere, the engineer accidentally erases your chorus. And you know what I'm saying? Or you go to the studio, your producers don't show up. People don't care. All they care about is a final product. That could be a book, that could be a movie, that could be an album. You see what I'm saying? So that's why not only do you document it, you celebrate it, man. You celebrate once you make something come into fruition, you celebrate it, man. You know, and then you keep it. You move on to the next level. Keep it moving.
Yo, that really that hit me, bro.
Bless.
Because I do a lot of that. You know, these guys know I do a lot of like behind the scenes stuff. And And yeah, man. So just
people don't know. All people know is the final product, dude, and all they care about. But sometimes you got to look back and be like, you know, and you know, I got to, you know, in my book, Stick to Your Vision. Chuck D from Public Enemy wrote the foreword for me, so I'm very. That was one of my. That's one of my.
Blessed, man.
Yeah, that was one of my music highlights right there.
Actually, speaking of, so you bring up Chuck D right in your foreword, which is amazing. A question I had was. Your music, like, you know, being the little brother to New York, and that day, like, New York was like hip hop, like, you know, how much love did you get from New York?
First of all, New York still is hip hop. Let's just figure that out.
Okay.
Number one,
Yeah.
New York always gave love. MCs and producers always gave love to us. It was nothing new. It was nothing new. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, their first time ever out in New York City was coming to Toronto. So they gave love. Like I'm saying, for Scott LaRock and KRS-One to do tracks back in 86, 87 with Toronto artists, that's love right there.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. In 1990, I produced 45 King from 900 Number, produced a remix for Drop the Needle. He a Bronx man too, you know? New York's has been the big brother. Queensbridge, MC Shan, Rock with Snow for Informer. That's New York right there.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Showbiz, man, from DITC, Digging in the Crates, working with me. That's Bronx right there. That's New York. Do you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we always had love. From New York, always showed love. It's just that the pioneer, Public Enemy. When I saw my name in the back of the Fear of the Black Planet album, I'm like, oh my goodness.
That's history, man.
Man.
That's deep.
Remember back in the days when you used to look through like names and stuff, credits and stuff?
Yes.
When I saw my name at the back of the album,
That's love, man.
that was the battery in my back right there. I remember I was in New York at the time visiting. That's when the Fear of the Black Planet album came out. And I remember going through just to pick up that vinyl. When I saw that, I was like, yo, something serious is happening. Yeah. So New York City's always been the big brother, man. Definitely.
Wow, man. Who would you say is like, because I'm sure you met and like probably even done stuff with like other legendary artists, like guys that we would like.
Yeah, Chuck D is like one in my top 5 favorite MCs because not only did he make me want to become a better MC, inspire me to, but he also inspired me to become a better human being. How many times can you say that? A lot of times artists inspire to be better artists, but they don't necessarily inspire you to be a better human being. One of the things I got spoiled is because when I first started touring, it was with Public Enemy, so I saw how they compartmentalized dealing with fans, dealing with media, dealing with upcoming artists, and I go, that's how I'm going to be. That was my media training that a lot of artists never have. You know what I'm saying? So I knew how it is to conduct myself in an interview. I know how it is to switch that off, conduct myself with upcoming artists, as well as switch that off again and interact with fans. You see what I'm saying? So I learned that from PE. Yeah. Definitely.
So you say you toured with them?
I did a mini tour with Public Enemy. We did like 4 shows, 5 shows, and then throughout the years, they've been bringing me back on stage when they're in Toronto, what have you. But what I was about to say, yes, Chuck D wrote the foreword for the book, but chapter 22 of the book is called Humility is a Skill. And the reason I call that because humility is something we all got to work on, because if we don't, our egos will contaminate us.
That's true.
We're in an ego-driven business. If it's film and TV, if it's music, what have you. It's like, you feel me?
So how do you stay grounded? How do you stay this cool guy that we're just talking to right now?
Because, man, to me, it's like I'm only here for a minute. And how much impact am I going to make in this minute I'm here? You see what I'm saying? How much impact am I going to make for this minute I'm here right now? That's what's going through my head. You see what I'm saying? I'm still putting out music, and my music is dope. Like, my stuff is still dope. But one of the reasons is I look at artists like Quincy Jones, who I'm sure, like, when he was putting out jazz records in the 50s, you had, like, jazz aficionados thinking, Q, what are you doing this disco shit in the 80s?
Right.
Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, me doing modern-day hip-hop now, or whatever you want to call it, is nothing to me based on my point of reference of what it takes to be an artist. And like I said, don't make records, make history. Jeez. My whole thing is taking my song or taking something that 30 years from now people want to come check you. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, when I perform at the Raptors game,
that was recent, right?
I did the halftime for the Raptors game when they when Kawhi Leonard was coming back, you know, for the first time. I think I did my thing because next thing I know, somebody at courtside saw me perform. You know, my man Sav saw me perform, and next thing I know, I'm performing at his gala for his company. So one thing leads to the next thing, leads to the next. You see what I'm saying? So that's my whole thing. So it's not about what I'm doing right now. It's the impact I'm going to make for the future.
How was that experience for you? Was that your first time doing like?
No, I've done a few of those. It was dope, and I brought my son with me because.
Oh, nice, man!
This was the first time that we actually won a championship, and the MVP is coming back for the first time.
That's true. That was good, pretty historic. Yeah.
What is that? That tea? That's some tea.
Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
That tea.
Miguel, what are you doing, man? You're supposed to have him try that.
Got to serve the guests some mate.
Yeah, man.
Bro.
Next time.
No, you guys. Next time. The time is now. Okay, have you ever tried mate?
No, I want to try it now. You told me about the thing. I want to try it.
Sandra, talk to him about mate. Let him know what it is.
Mate is an Argentinian herbal drink that
There's a straw? Or
it's a straw.
It's like
I'm asking.
It's a straw, and you pass it around, and you sip it with some family, friends, and you just enjoy. Well,
that's how it looks.
Yeah, you don't really stir.
He's stirring them.
I'm new around here, man.
You just drink it. It's ready to go.
You just sip it.
It's a herbal drink.
It's like green tea on steroids. It's like it's really strong and
it's natural. It's good for you.
I put a tiny bit of sugar in that one. The other one's too strong. No,
man. I chew raw ginger, man.
Okay,
there you go.
That's probably part of the secret. Right? No, but that's
probably
in Argentina and Uruguay specifically. Those two countries, this is what they do, and it's a shared thing. And someone walks around with a hot cooler, and they sip, pass.
Where can I get this? Where can I pick that up? We'll talk later.
Yeah. So after you sip, there's no more water. You have to keep pouring the water.
Okay.
It's like a thing. It's like a sit down with the family.
All right.
And you do this. You sit down and you talk. Mate. He's like, what is that? What is that? Thank you for noticing it and saying,
Can I get one more sip?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. He's liking the mate.
This one's a little more smooth. The other one was strong.
Yeah, man. Do your thing, bro. He likes the mate.
That's dope, man.
And there you go. Drink up. It's Messi's drink, man. He likes that stuff.
There, he likes it.
You like it? It's good, no? Okay,
yeah, man. So that's the vibe, man.
That's the vibe,
hip-hop
man.
is the foundation, but I've been doing a lot of different things. And it's an honor and a blessing to still be here, evolving. I'm about New Year evolution, man. We evolve into a new decade. So, we should be looking at, like, what did we do within the last 10 years? But what didn't we do within the last 10 years? And what can we do to make this better?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where my head is at, just trying to evolve, man.
What do you see... Where do you see hip hop now, like going, the direction? What are your thoughts on hip hop? Like,
a lot of my counterparts may want to hit me and smack me in the face after I say what I'm about to say.
All right, get ready for this one.
But you got to understand, I told you, I'm a fan of the history of music. So when you look at a man like Quincy Jones, who was a jazz aficionado, but he transcended in doing disco records for Michael Jackson in the 80s. If he was to listen to those purists back then, they'd be like, Q, what are you doing? He evolved. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Hip-hop as a genre is better now. As a genre, listen what I'm saying.
Okay.
Hip-hop as a genre. Put on my helmet. Hip-hop as a genre is better now than it was when we came out. When we came out, will always be my favorite time because it was pure. It was innocent. It was boom bap. It was the snare. It was Pete Rock, CL Smooth. It was Large Professor, Main Source. It was like, you know what I'm saying, Brand Nubian.
Yes.
You go back further, it was, look at the names I mentioned.
I know.
Just Ice, Marley Marl, Public Enemy,
Cool G Rap.
Cool G Rap,
come on,
Eric
man.
B and Rakim. I just finished reading the Rakim's book, crazy book. It's called Sweat the Technique. Nas, the golden era, and before that,
Big Daddy Kane.
Special time. Big Daddy Kane, one of the greatest MCs of all time. Opened for him a concert hall, December 24th, 1989.
Wow.
That will always be my favorite era, the golden era, as well as before that. But as a genre of music, hip hop is better now than it was back then. Because you're allowed to be an artist. It's not a novelty for a Big Daddy Kane to have a song called The Day You're Mine when he's singing on the hook. It's not an anomaly like UTFO having a song called Fairy Tale Love where they're singing on the hook.
Right.
LL Cool J was considered at the time the greatest of all time. When he came out with his love song, I Need Love, there was no singing on the hook. It was just I Need Love.
Yes.
He let that open. He let that breathe.
Yeah.
Nowadays, as an MC, it's almost a prerequisite to open up as an artist, open up your instrument as an artist and evolve and do things that were considered like an anomaly or novelty back in the days. You see what I'm saying? You're allowed to be a better artist. You're allowed to be a bigger artist. In the process of all this, the pen game ain't as like it used to be, right?
The ghostwriters.
But even that, like what they write, like the shit, that's a ghost. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, true.
The pen game ain't like the shit I grew up listening to, like the Pharoah Monches, and all these guys. But as a genre of music, it's better because you can have artists like Tory Lanez, man.
Yeah.
Tory Lanez could do a song with Joyner Lucas.
Right.
And go bar for bar, rhyme for rhyme with that. But then he could sing on the next tune and make another 8 million.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Hip hop as a genre of music, what's considered hip hop now, is better than it was back then.
Well, that's well said, man.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people
not as a culture, not as a culture, but as a genre.
As a genre.
As a genre of music. Right now, there's no culture. There's no. People don't care what they say, what they do, now, what have you. Right. And I feel that the in hip hop is short form for hypocrisy because we're all hypocrites to one capacity or the other. Because back then, Public Enemy would be fighting the power but it's okay if Biz Marquis picking boogers. No one say nothing because he's Juice Crew. Yeah. But if a man from some new MC from Idaho said that he's got a brand new tune called Picking Boogers, he would have been crucified.
Right.
But we allowed certain things. That's hypocrisy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Certain things go on based on who you know and who you're affiliated with, yada, yada, yada. Certain rules were set a certain way, and we abided to some capacity by that, right? But also, we also had knowledge of self. Yeah. Very, very important. If you look at these albums, these groups, these groups made you want to become a better human being too, made you want to read a book. Yeah. At least KRS-One, at the end of the day, the man made you at least want to read a book. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Public Enemy, they at least wanted you to read a book. Yeah. So from a cultural perspective, nothing will be like what we came up having. Yeah. But I have to say, as a genre of music, when you look at, I think Tory Lanez is the quintessential MC right now. Because he'll go on Sway and Tech and eat food. And have the freestyle of the year. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But he still pull out like beautiful songs with a nice voice singing. Yeah. But then when it comes time, you saw what he did with and what he did to Joyner Lucas. You know what I'm saying? When he went back to back with bars. You see what I'm saying? That's why to me he's like the quintessential MC right now. Where he's not afraid to put his chest out there and say he's the greatest and prove it. And talk the talk and walk that walk. And he's a Toronto man too. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that we have to look at. You know, artists like Drake, to me, he's the voice of his generation. One of the biggest artists of our time, and he's from Toronto. You see what I'm saying? So we're in a great place right now where this genre of music is bigger and better than it was when it first started. And I'm glad to still be a part of this to some capacity. When these artists tell me either directly or indirectly that I gave them confidence for them to do what they're doing now. And it would be great if more artists globally would have known me or more people would have known me globally. But guess what? We're the top of the global food chain when it comes to music. And you could ask those artists about me if they heard me or heard about me, and they'll tell you something.
Of course.
You see what I'm saying? Because we ain't making records, we making history right now.
Making history. I love it. That's the thing, man. I love it. Yeah, man. So, bro, music. Author, you're doing TV and film. Yeah. What else, man?
I got more stuff coming. That'll be the next.
Okay.
But this is good for now, man.
Yo, let me ask you, bro. I have to, man. Can we get into some of your music, man? Can we
play some stuff?
Let's just go throw it back, man. You got Backbone Slide there? Come with Backbone Slide. You gonna bless the mic for us or what, man? You gonna bless the mic? Come on, man.
Raise the volume.
Yo, turn up the volume, he said. Once again, Maestro Fresh Wes.
I have one question.
What do you mean
one question?
How can you kill the vibe?
One question.
I've never seen a vibe killer.
You're a vibe killer.
You're a vibe killer.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Just one question.
Damn.
That video for Let Your Backbone Slide, that scene right there.
Yeah.
Where were you?
Some church that burned down, man. I can't remember, man. That's where you stop for me. That's where you stop.
You kill a vibe for that? Yo, get off the mic, bro.
Vibe killer. That's his new name.
That's your new name. On the mix. Yes.
Maestro.
Raise the volume, man.
DJ
Nick J, don't play.
With the one and only Maestro Fresh Wes in the building. Miguel Anthony live. Scarborough's finest.
Scarborough. Yo. You didn't know some Scarborough. Shame on you.
I just wanted
Shout out to Vibe Killer over there. Yo, this jam is amplified, so just glide. Let your backbone slide. Just let it slide.
Yo.
Just let it slide.
My.
Yo. You listen to every word I say, every verb you heard I play. Snaps a vertebrae, you try to cover or hover me a roast, a fake, a flag that I run a post toast. I'm the most. DEF's how it goes, no X's or O's or tic-tac-toes. LTD knows this ain't a game, I'm on a mission. Call me a hip-hop tip-tac-toe. Hey. I rap is like a slab of clay that's shapeless. Champagne or shimmer, no glass is tasteless. A universe without light is lightless. That's why I always take time to write this. I'm holding it in my hands before I start chiseling. Could be a rain or brainstorm or drizzling. Some could be shining, some could be showering. Practice makes perfect, I'm powering, flowering. My lyrics are awesome and tuning, voluming, blooming, I'm blossoming. Blowing away blockades and barricades. Make you black and blue from the blast to the blaze. It's a blood sport, but bills I bank. Make your vision go blurry while your brain goes blank into oblivion. Beats from box to box, the bass rocks from blocks and blocks. Let your backbone slide.
Yo, man, pull it up, man. Yo.
Woo.
Yo.
Yeah, man. We like I said, we ain't making records. We're making history, man. And
That
that's
is
what we're here, man.
You know, now that I think about it, I saw you perform at the SoCan Awards,
That was
2017.
That was Snow there too?
Snow was there too.
Yeah, man.
They did a tribute to
Yo, he's hilarious,
you
man.
guys, I think, both of you.
Yeah, he hilarious.
Because he performed too.
Can I tell you what Snow did to me?
Please.
Let me tell you something. This is what they wanted to do for the show. Snow was supposed to come out, and then he introduces me. But then no, he comes out and Snow. Actually, they had Snow drop, like Snow.
Oh yes,
no way.
yes.
So when we did the sound check, everything was cool, right? But Snow, right before we performed, if I had that drink, I would have had that drink before I performed. It puts you in the mood. So right before we performed, Snow was like, "Yo, I don't feel like performing now, guy. I don't feel like performing right now." I'm like, "Bro, we just had a nice sound." I goes, "I know, but I'm nervous now, guy. I'm nervous." I go, "Nah, just stick with me. You're good." All of a sudden, I started getting nervous. It's like a dark cloud came over my head.
Oh no.
Snow did his thing. He killed it. Now I'm going up. I'm saying, but say I make a mistake now.
Oh,
Like this guy made me nervous, man.
He was a vibe killer too.
Vibe killer.
Big up to all the vibe killers.
Big up to all the vibe killers.
Honestly, that was the worst, man. That was the worst. I have a question.
Yeah. You could have waited till I was done.
Yeah, sorry.
It's all good. I'm only playing, man. It's cool. Because
Yeah,
you probably thought I was going to forget. You're going to
You're
forget
gonna
or
forget
whatever.
the thought, yeah.
You probably had that question for years that you wanted to ask.
I did.
I'm trying to make it better for you right now.
He's had that question for 30 years, man.
God bless, man. God bless. But yeah, shout out to my man Snow. Shout out to our city because we've been putting it down for a long time, and to see where we're at now, we're at the top of the global food chain. Where if you never heard of me, if you never heard of my man Cardinal or Mission Me, LA Love, or the Dream Warriors, what have you, I know you heard of Drake. I know you heard of The Weeknd. I know you heard of like Tory Lanez. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we're at the top of the global food chain when it comes to this, man. We started from the bottom, but now we're here doing monumental things, man. And like I said, we ain't making records. We're making history. Definitely.
And thank you for paving that path.
Thank you,
man,
sir.
Because for real, you were a pioneer. You
Bless.
broke down doors. You broke barriers, and because of that seed planted, it's like a relay race, man. You know, we pass it on, and you did that, bro. You caused it, man.
Thank you,
It's just legendary. So,
and I'll be humble enough to say there's artists who inspire me to continue doing what I'm doing, man. And it's been an honor to be here, man.
what can we expect for you 2020, man?
Oh, cool things.
A whole bunch
man.
of things. Oh, you said that's for next time. You're right, man.
Cool things.
We just know that stuff's coming.
Stuff is
we know
definitely
that
coming,
stuff
man.
is coming. Well, listen, bro.
Wait, I
you.
don't need to vibe kill or anything right now. But you still have that dope state jacket?
I could look for it for you, homie. My man. Love.
Yo, honestly, bro, thank you for
this
coming.
is great.
Man.
You guys are awesome, man.
Hey,
you guys
thank
are
you,
great,
man.
I knew I was just playing with you, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
no.
You guys are great, man. This has been awesome for me. Man.
Hey, thank you for coming. Make some noise for Maestro Fresh Wes.
The legend.
Yes.
Thank you.
Salute.
Awesome.
Once again. All right, bro, we out.